Week presented by Lowe's. Welcome to the Southwest Maui Invitational. Again, as always, the beautiful island of Maui is the host for this tournament. The weather is beautiful. Everybody is having a good time, enjoying the sights, enjoying the waves, enjoying the sun. But then when it gets time to get serious, into the Lahaina Civic Center for the action. And boy, was there action in game one. A.J. State and McCray and the Seton Hall Pirates. A very impressive game, both defensively and offensively. State McCray leading the way with 22, one of 6 in double figures for the Hall, as they pull off the upset, beating the 23rd ranked NC State Wolfpack 85-74 to advance into the semis to play the winner of this next game between USC and Boise State. 2 more games coming your way tonight. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Lahaina. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis. Really interesting first game. Great effort by Seton Hall, and a real contrast in styles. Really interesting looking second game, too.
Well, USC is super athletic. They've got SEC athletes on this team, and they're led by 2 excellent scorers in Chad Baker-Mazara and Rodney Rice. Both of them average 20 points or more per game. But I think for Boise State, the glass is going to be a big issue. You know, USC can rebound, but they're flat on the season. They don't have a rebounding advantage. Coming off a game where they beat Troy in triple overtime on a Jordan Marsh 3, a game they probably should have lost. But talking to Eric Musselman, he says, I've been really happy with my team, except for the game against Troy. You take that out, I've been really happy. But Leon Rice has a solid basketball team. But I think they're going to have to do yeoman's work on the glass to win this one against USC.
In that game for USC against Troy, which, as you mentioned, they won in triple overtime, they were actually out-rebounded by 24, 63-39, and still won the game. Eric Musselman has basically an entirely new team. This is a big story around college basketball. So many transfers right now. His second year at USC, they went 17-18 last year. All 5 starters are gone. 4 years at Nevada, 5 at Arkansas, including a couple of Elite Eights. Chad Baker-Mazara, one of the most experienced players in the game. Ezra Asar, as we mentioned, is going to be a low down low. Rodney Rice, a transfer from Maryland, has become a point guard, when in the past he's really been more of a 2 guard. He's off to a great start. Boise State, under Leon Rice, they are 4-1 on the season. And NCAA tournament team 3 of the last 4 years, and it's the Broncos with the first possession of the game.
What a ball screen motion for this Boise State team, and Dylan Andrews gets all the way to the cup, transferred in from UCLA, trying to get his confidence back. And Boise State off to a good start with just an easy basket.
Now look at the starting 5 for USC, brought to you by Southwest. Chad Baker-Mazara. If you're a college basketball fan, you know the name, you know the game. With Auburn the last couple of years, here he is, coming off a 35-point effort in that triple overtime win over Troy.
R.J. Keene able to get back to that shot because he's a lefty, could really put some bother on it.
Keene with the ball right now, not a guy who looks to score very much. This is Drew Fielder, a transfer from Georgetown. Off to Andrews. Keene, an air ball on the corner 3, and it bounces into the hands of Jacob Kofi, and now Rodney Rice.
Rodney Rice, talented from the DMV area around Washington, D.C.
Banked home by Kofi. Man, oh man, it was about 2 feet long, but that turned out perfectly.
Well, Jacob Kofi, the leading rebounder and shot blocker on this SC team, and he's a talented big guy.
A sophomore from Seattle, a transfer from Virginia. Andrews in some trouble and turned it over.
For USC with early traps. They call this jail. They want to trap, be shoulder to shoulder, don't let Dylan Andrews out of it. And they wind up with the turnover. That's a second trap early in this game. And Boise State's going to have to handle those. Flex action from USC to start.
And now Asar trying to back down Javen Buchanan, who stands his ground. Rice pulls up from 19 and hits it.
Rodney Rice has a ton of ability at 26 points, 9 assists against Troy. Had a triple-double against Illinois State.
How tough is it to go from a guy who generally had been an off guard, a scoring guard, now to the primary point guard?
I like point guards that can score. It makes them more dangerous.
Fielder no. Keene out of his area for the rebound.
Keene is always around the ball, one of the better offensive rebounders in the Mountain West.
Andrews. Buchanan comes down with a loose ball and lays it in. A former NAIA All-American. He's from Lafayette, Indiana.
Here's the Mountain West Six-Man of the Year. Javen Buchanan is just consistent.
And one of the real leaders on the team. Baker Mazzara with a soft touch for the Trojans.
USC can score. The question is, for Eric Musselman, are they going to guard for 40 minutes and rebound for 40 minutes? They are capable of it. But that positional size and length can be really difficult to play against.
Keep an eye on Andrew Meadow, number 13 for Boise State. He's their leading scorer, better than 15 a game. But now a turnover, a run out, and a bucket for Rice.
What a play by Jacob Kofi. His willingness to get on the floor and dive for that ball. Then Asar could pick it up and get the easy basket, but it was only easy because Jacob Kofi did something really hard.
Fielder shovels it off to Buchanan, who steps behind the screen but can't hit the three. And a foul going against Boise State.
This ball is loose. Jacob Kofi dives, gets between everyone, able to knock it to a teammate. Asar with the easy little scoop pass to Rodney Rice for the bucket. That is big time, beautiful hustle by Jacob Kofi.
This is the third time USC has played in the Maui Invitational at 1-2, both in 1999 and also in 2012. Boise State has never played in this event, and surprisingly, I thought anyways, this is the first time these two programs have ever met. Leon Rice, the all-time winningest coach in Boise State basketball history, 320 wins, 5 NCAA tournament appearances, and before that was an assistant under Mark Few at Gonzaga for 11 years.
Yeah, spent a lot of time at Gonzaga, started his career with Don Munson, the great former Oregon coach, the father of Dan Munson, who coached at Gonzaga, Long Beach State.
Baker Mazzara turns the corner, knew he left it short, so he raced after it, but the rim gave him a little help, and it bounces in.
Chad Baker Mazzara has a versatile offensive game. He can be a floor spacer. You foul him, he's an automatic free throw shooter.
And USC, a hot shooting start, 5 for 6. Dominic Parolin, number 9, into the game now for Boise State. A transfer from Lehigh. Another miss for the Broncos. Asar forcing the issue. He is a freight train down there, and he draws the foul to take us to our first media timeout of the ball game, with Chad Baker Mazzara and the Trojans off to a very sharp start and out to an early 7-point lead. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Score all-star hospitality on every flight. J-Lab, personal technology and headphones straight from the lab. And Tommy Bahama. Get your holiday gifts at TommyBahama.com. Well, it is one of the wilder games on the young season so far. Triple overtime and a battle of the Trojans, Troy and USC. And after a late turnover, junior Jordan Marsh, a transfer from UNC Asheville, hits a hanging, somewhat miraculous three-pointer, and somehow Eric Musselman and USC survived this game. Now, Troy, it should be pointed out, went into San Diego State and won a few days earlier, so they are a good and competitive team. But Marsh with a big shot, the Big South Newcomer of the Year a year ago. You hate to play in games like that if you're Eric Musselman, when it goes triple overtime and you let some chances slip through your fingers. But ultimately, they found a way to win it, and that's all they care about at the end.
And a game that, by all accounts, that Troy should have won. I mean, they got control of a rebound and decided to throw long, threw it away, and then Rodney Rice passed it ahead to Jordan Marsh and just made a circus shot. It reminded you of that play Kihei Clark made to Mamadi Diakite in the NCAA tournament to tie the game against Purdue. And then Virginia later went on to win the national championship. Sometimes you need plays like that to win big games.
Ezra Asar, a transfer from Utah, 12.5 points per game last year, is at the line, averaging better than 18 points per game in the early going. Extremely physical, gets to the line a lot.
You have to watch Ezra Asar. He'll leak out early in transition. They throw long to him. But, man, what a big, strong, relentless player he is. And he's a good driver.
With the ball for the Broncos, Aginaldo Nato, who was under the weather at practice yesterday, but is available clearly in there right now in the backcourt for Boise State along with Andrews. And he'll launch a high arcing three that goes. Nato, a freshman from Angola, comes in averaging 5 points per game. Baker Mazzara, experienced, crafty, pulls up from the baseline, not there.
He waved away a potential ball screen by Asar so he could go one-on-one. Not the best shot he could have got on that.
Andrews, the drive and kick, and the pass splits a couple of teammates and winds up out of bounds.
You know, if Southern Cal comes out this season and has a defensive mindset first, this can be an excellent defensive team. You know, they brought Gabe Dines into the lineup. He's 7'5". At Youngstown State, one of the best shot blockers in the country. That gives them a different dimension.
Had 104 blocks last year for the Penguins. The runner short for Rice. And here comes Nato. Nice look ahead. Buchanan absorbing the contact and earning a trip to the line.
Boy, nice job by Buchanan. He knew he had the angle on Asar and just went right into his body. There's no way that Asar could recover and either draw a charge or get back in front. So he just went right into his body to draw the foul. Really smart play.
A 6'7" senior. We asked Coach Rice about Buchanan yesterday. What do you like best about him? And the first few words out of his mouth, Jay, were maturity, character, consistency, and empathy towards his teammates. You can tell that Leon Rice thinks a lot of the character of Javen Buchanan.
One of the things he does best is those back downs. You know, he's a really good leader, but when he gets the ball in the post, he'll just back you down. Those little kind of Charles Barkley back downs. And he can knock down an open three as well, so he can stretch the floor for you.
Made them both, and it's a three-point game as Buchanan will sub out. And Spencer Aarons, a 6'10" freshman from Oakville, Ontario, into the game for the first time for the Broncos. Boy, Nato is quick. He is staying with Rice, making him work hard to get into the front court. Now this is Dines. Lost it, and it's over to Boise State, and a push. A foul is called on Kofi.
Boy, good help side defense on that roll. When Dines was throwing the ball, they walled up. Boise State did really well defensively. Wouldn't give him an angle to the basket. That's just a really good job there by Spencer Aarons to come over from the weak side and stop that play.
There is Dines, 7'5" junior. We mentioned Youngstown State last couple of years. He is from Independence, Kentucky. More of a factor with the defensive end than the offensive end. Aarons left open. Misses the three.
Marsh can really shoot it. Yep.
Finds Kofi. He finds trouble. Two-man game between Marsh and Kofi out on the perimeter. Kofi traveled, had that ball on his hip, and just couldn't get a hand on it and control it. Eric Musselman has been at this a long time. In addition to his various stops at the collegiate level, Jay, as you well know, he's got 20 years of pro experience as well, a number of those years in the NBA.
He and his father, the great Bill Musselman, are the only father-son combination to be a head coach in the NBA.
Pearson Carmichael, number 6 with the ball for Boise State, gives it up to Aarons. Aarons tried to drive on Dines. Again, a 7'5" defender, and Dines got him.
Good job by Dines not to foul there. Even though Aarons was able to sort of get around him, he can block that shot late with his length. Let him get just underneath, but still blocked it up top. And a lot of times for a big guy, it's really easy to foul with your body there, but Dine's really adept at blocking that shot without fouling.
With the shot clock a factor, a long three won't go for Julian Bowie. Marsh the lob, Dine's the catch. Kofi the cut, and he lost it.
Dines has to just finish that. Go up, get fouled, score, or both.
Carmichael going strong, missed it, but we have a foul call against USC. It'll be Baker Mazzara. Baker Mazzara, 5 different schools in his career, including a junior college.
He started out at Duquesne, but wound up at San Diego State. And then had 2 really good years at Auburn for Bruce Pearl.
Feast Week rolls on tomorrow night. Number 18, UCLA, taking on rival Cal in the Empire Classic at the Chase Center in San Francisco, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific on ESPN and the ESPN app.
You know that UCLA and Cal basically have the same fight song?
Do they?
Yeah.
Really? Baker Mazzara comes down with a rebound. A little bit ragged here in the first 7 minutes and change here in this one between USC and Boise State. Marsh comes to take the handoff. Well, Kofi looked like he had his jersey being held. He still made the pass, and Asar got the lay-in.
A really good poise by Jacob Kofi in the post. Drew the double team, just dropped it off to Asar along the baseline. That was pretty.
Dylan Andrews getting ready to check back into the game for Boise State. An athletic attempt there by Nato, but it won't go down for him. Shot fake Marsh, the lefty release for 3.
Well, he can really shoot it. And the shot fake is so effective. Just shot fake, one dribble, gets right into that shot. Well, he's shooting around 70% from 3 to start this young season. It's ridiculous.
Including that game winner against Troy. 7-point lead now for the Trojans.
You think that shot against Troy is when he practices a lot?
Off balance, kind of losing it on the way up a little bit. You never know. Timeout on the floor, and it is USC leading Boise State by 7 here in the early going as they fight on here in Maui. First, a nice look on the inside for an easy reverse for Asar, and then the 3 by Marsh. Trojans by 7. Welcome back to the Southwest Maui Invitational here on the beautiful island of Maui. And as you saw during our first game, Jay Billis, not only an outstanding college basketball analyst, but also a man who will take on any job offered to him, help get some of the gear, including the Southwest surfboard off the plane. A lot of alohas, a lot of thank yous, a lot of smiles, and having a great time here in the islands as always. Is there anything you can't or won't do?
There's a lot I won't do, but you know that's the way I'm greeted when I get off a plane in any airport.
Really? Really?
Yeah. You don't get that kind of treatment?
Not as much as you think.
Canadian.
Yeah, that's true.
It's Canada. Sorry.
Having a great time here inside Lahaina Civic Center. USC undefeated on the year. 4-0 with the wins over Cal Poly, Manhattan, Illinois State, and then that triple overtime game against Troy that we have talked about. Boise State 4-1, lost their season opener to Hawaii Pacific 79-78, have since won 4 in a row. The last 2 have been very close, low-scoring affairs. Is this a game where the quicker the pace, the more it favors USC?
Yes, absolutely. But the pace is only going to quicken if USC is able to force some turnovers, grab some defensive rebounds, and get out in transition. But that was a good possession to get Andrew Meadow going, their leading scorer.
And they will add to their lead as Rice knocks one down. It's back to 7.
Rodney Rice started his career out at Virginia Tech. Had a lot of injuries there for Mike Young, but he is super talented.
Fielder, left-handed shovel pass inside, and Carmichael finishes in traffic.
Pearson Carmichael is really skilled offensively, and he gets tougher, and he will. Just a sophomore from Bend, Oregon.
Boy, Rice, a nifty crossover, then throws one up with the left hand that he leaves short.
It's a tough shot.
Yeah. Baker Mazzara switches on to Andrews. So important for this Broncos team.
Size advantage here.
Meadow kicks it back out. Andrews for three. And a nice job holding off his man. Kofi comes down with a rebound.
Well, I really like Jacob Kofi. He's a good player, and he's just going to get better and better. Just a sophomore.
Rice again. Carmichael stays with him. He finds Amarian Dickerson for USC. Outstanding defender. Dribbles into a double team, and somebody got whistled for a reach-in foul there.
Now, your point about Dickerson, who played at Robert Morris before USC, he's a lefty. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the Northeast Conference, and that was with Gabe Dines playing at Youngstown State, who led the nation in block shots.
Right, and you beat him out. The foul went on Aarons, who goes to the bench. Fielder as well. Buchanan and Parolin back in for the Broncos. Shot clock at 10. Baker Mazzara will try to create. He finds his own, can't hit it. Andrews the rebound. Carmichael taking a long three in transition. He really stepped into that with confidence, but couldn't hit it. Nice crossover. And the finish for Chad Baker Mazzara.
Chad Baker Mazzara can create his own offense. Came into this game averaging about 22 a game. He had 34 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocks against Troy in that triple overtime win. This left to right crossover. Just able to get the defender to drop that left foot. That opens up the gate. He can get all the way to the rim, gets it off the backboard quickly.
Meadow unable to get a lot of looks. This is him with the ball. He's their leading scorer. Misses the three. The follow for R.J. Keene.
We've already talked about his offensive rebounding. You have to put a body on him. When the shot goes up, you have to turn and go hit him, because otherwise he's going to get a run up.
Yeah. If you like the term glue guy, R.J. Keene is that kind of a guy. Again, they don't run plays for him, doesn't look for his own. Here's a defensive rebound, and he can help bring him up the court. A wing three, too strong for Buchanan, but the offensive rebound, Keene. Andrews got it, and a nice little run here by the Broncos, and Eric Musselman isn't liking what he is seeing right now.
Right now, Boise State, especially because of R.J. Keene, has just been quicker to the ball. Now Keene looped around to the right corner, and there was just no block out. Gets in for the easy stick back, and here he's got inside position on Chad Baker Mazzara. Gets the rebound, they swing it, and then Dylan Andrews gets basically a layup off the hustle by R.J. Keene. And Keene's not a big scorer. I think Leon Rice would like to see him shoot it a little bit more.
We've got 3 players down right now, and Baker Mazzara a little bit slow to get up. Kofi hit the floor, Buchanan hit the floor, and it is getting a little more physical, and right now Boise State is given as good as they get in that department.
Boise State doesn't take a step back. I mean, they've had some really good teams under Leon Rice. Went to 3 straight NCAA tournaments before last season, where they're one of the first teams left out. With, they had Tyler Degenhardt and Alvaro Cardenas, who was a great point guard. Leon Rice has done a spectacular job at Boise State.
Degenhardt, their all-time leading scorer. This is their first year without him, now playing in the G League with the Raptors affiliate. Baker Mazzara, nice pass into Kofi, the extra pass, and another one, and it's Marsh, and it's a 3.
Well, you don't make him dribble it. If he shoots it from the catch spot, he's making it.
A couple of threes in this game, and USC up by 6. Buchanan spinning, blocked from behind by Baker Mazzara.
Boy, what a play by Chad Baker Mazzara. Buchanan just tried to bully him to the bucket, and he recovered to block it up top.
Kofi cannot get Buchanan in the air, kicks it back out. Baker Mazzara for three.
A good box out by Javen Buchanan on Jacob Kofi. Kofi reminds me a little bit of Anton Watson, used to play at Gonzaga.
Buchanan, a high arcing three that's a little bit too strong. And right now, Boise State not finding the range from the perimeter. They are 1 for 11 from three-point range.
A good backdoor cut by Rodney Rice.
Rice will try one and hit it. And now USC 4 for 7 from three-point range as the lead grows to 9, the largest in the game.
That's a great example. An unselfish backdoor cut by Rodney Rice, and he still gets it back and able to knock down that shot. The cut helped open up the shot for him.
Buchanan again, ultra aggressive, and he's got a chance to complete a three-point play.
He is bigger and stronger than Chad Baker Mazzara and just bullied him to the bucket. Really strong drive by Javen Buchanan.
Game 2 of day 1 here in Lahaina, here with the Southwest Maui Invitational. Now, the Maui Invitational is not just about basketball. It is also about getting some great experiences while you are out here. And the Trojans took to the ocean to see how many of them could surf, riding the waves, or tried to ride the waves. The waves did very well here. They won most of the battles, but I believe this is Ezra Asar, and that's pretty impressive stuff from the young man.
Yeah, they took surfing lessons from Kunu. You know what Kunu and
I didn't know.
Chuck.
Oh.
You didn't see Forgetting Sarah Marshall?
Oh, yeah, but I did, but I forgot all about it.
Yeah, Paul Rudd. That was the Paul Rudd character, Kunu.
Paul Rudd, who was at our game last week.
Yes,
right?
he's a big Kansas guy.
Kansas guy, that's right.
You get all kinds of pop culture from us.
Every now and again, I even know what you're talking about. Rarely. And that's more on me than you.
That's all on you.
That's all on me. Yeah. Three-point play, Buchanan to make it a 6-point game. And Boise State kind of fortunate right there. They weren't really kind of matched up as USC was bringing the ball into the front court. Jerry Easter, the second. A freshman from Toledo, is checked into the game for the first time for the Trojans. Dickerson turns the corner, slipped a bit, can't hit the reverse. Buchanan got a size advantage in this matchup. Draws a double. What can they do to get Andrew Meadow involved? He's been quiet.
Well, he's got to move better without the ball. Right now, they're just sort of face guarding him.
Buchanan has it knocked out of bounds.
Good play by Jerry Easter. Really, USC, their defense has to concentrate on keeping Boise State out of the paint, because that's where Boise State has had their most success. But Asar was there to protect the rim, and Easter was able to knock it away from behind.
3 blocks now for USC. We talked a lot about the shot blocking ability of Seton Hall in the first game. They are 3rd in the nation in block shots. The Trojans are 1st at better than 9 a game.
This is a super athletic USC team.
Kofi, one of those athletic guys, he is going to the line.
I really like Jacob Kofi. As he gets tougher, and he will, he's going to be a really good player. Opens up to the ball, you can throw it up to him, got body contact, able to get to the line. Started out at Virginia, but he can really move his feet, and he's learning to communicate better on the defensive end. That's the next step for him to be an outstanding defender, is to be a better communicator on the back line of that USC defense.
He had 23 in USC's season opening game against Cal Poly, kind of a skilled 4-man and on NBA radar already. People know who he is. They are coming to check him out.
Well, he was a highly rated recruit out of the state of Washington. He was Washington State Player of the Year out of Eastside Catholic, but his mobility, his skill, he's a good passer, and really a quick pick and roll roller.
How about Marsh and his tenacity defensively? He forces a turnover.
Jordan Marsh averaged about 18 a game when he played at UNC Asheville. You already mentioned, I think he's a Big South Newcomer of the Year, but his dynamic speed, his shooting ability, he's been really well coached. He started out at Appalachian State, played for Dustin Kearns, and Mike Morrell did a great job with him at UNC Asheville.
Terrence Williams the second with a shot fake and the drive, and he is headed to the line. A very experienced guy. Spent some time at Michigan. Second year with USC. Only played in 7 games rather, last year because of a broken wrist.
Well, when USC gets back Elijah Arenas, their super talented freshman, and the son of Gilbert Arenas, that's going to be a huge lift for this team.
Let's take a quick look at the Terry's Chocolate ESPN events Invitational bracket. Towson and Liberty winning earlier today. Temple, UC San Diego, Princeton, Bradley tonight as it continues tomorrow, and then with the championship game on ESPN2. Eric Musselman is hopeful that Arenas, out with a knee injury, will be back at some point during conference play. Doesn't really want to put a date on it, but you talked about Arenas and Rice as a starting backcourt. That is something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I mean, Arenas was a McDonald's All-American. I think he's number 14, if I remember right, all time in California scoring.
Arenas looking on, and an and one opportunity here for Pearson Carmichael.
Just got a straight line drive and smartly went into the body of the help defender.
Does it feel to you, it seems the game, the way it's been officiated the last couple of years, more of the 50-50s are now blocks. Right? We don't have nearly as many charges in the game as
and
we
there
used
shouldn't
to.
be.
Right, a few years ago. And obviously coaches adapt to that very quickly, and they sure appear to be coaching their players. Put the ball on the deck, be the aggressor. You're going to get the call more often than not.
Yeah, if you get that contact, if the defender's not in a legal guarding position, but it doesn't mean you can't, still make a play with a block shot or a strip. But
Rice got grabbed.
I mean, before they made that rule enhancement, we'd have 10 charges a game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah. And now, maybe one or two, maybe. You can go an entire game without a charge sometimes now.
And it's beautiful.
The foul on Spencer Aarons, his second. It'll be Rice to inbound. And an offensive foul on Kofi, an illegal screen.
Kofi saying that's not a foul. He's right, but you pick off the defender like that, they like to call that.
Little weave action here from the Broncos. It winds up in the hands of Fielder. Aarons spins and hits.
Well, Aarons showed good patience there. I thought he should have gone up quicker, but that little spin to the baseline gave him the angle he needed.
Leon Rice will talk about Aarons and say he's really like a two-guard in a big man's body. And remember, Rice coached at Gonzaga. He said Aarons reminds him a little bit of Kelly Olynyk.
Boy, surprising that there wasn't a foul call there. I thought Marsh got hit when he went up. That's a foul, period. There's no legal guarding position when you get your back to the... That's ridiculous that wasn't called.
USC to inbound as the shot missed from the corner by Rodney Rice, and back comes Boise State. The Broncos are right in this game with 4 minutes to go in the first half.
This is the pace that Boise State wants. They want this to be a half-court game.
Fielder over Dines, but he can't hit it.
Boy, Dines playing really good defense. Just make Fielder finish over you. Make it tough without fouling. That was excellent.
Just be 7-5, right? Dickerson kicks it to the corner. Marsh is wide open, but missed it.
Boy, he hardly ever misses open shots.
Meadow The Broncos on an 8-2 run right now. Make it 10-2, and they're back within one.
Boy, Meadow did a great job of using his off arm to hold off Dickerson from really challenging that shot.
USC has led by as many as 9, but it's a 1-point game right now.
Now, Meadow was a goggles wearer last year. Now he's gone to contact.
Easter traveled. And Boise State will have a chance to take the lead when we come back. And their fans are on their feet, Jay, here in Lahaina.
Andrew Meadow from Santa Clarita. The great drive. Watch how he wards off here with that arm. Very well done. It's also an offensive foul.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's and Mauna Loa Macadamias. Try our new dill pickle macadamias, now at Albertsons nationwide.
It is a fun game to watch, but you know, it's really interesting. Jay Williams has decided not to wear a tie. It's apparently Casual Monday. What I think he could do is form an LLC, buy the tie, then it becomes an asset, not a liability, and he would look better, look more professional.
Wow. You know a response is coming to that at halftime. Meadow draws a couple. Trying to back down. Easter gets inside and scores again. Back-to-back buckets for Andrew Meadow, and Boise State has the lead.
And Boise State has the lead because they're dominating the paint. Right now it's 22-6 in paint points in favor of the Broncos.
Their first lead since the first basket of the game. A little bit strong at the other end for Jaden Brownell, a grad transfer from Samford. And we wondered a couple of minutes ago, what could Meadow do to get more involved in the offense? And the answer is, back your man down, score over him.
Boise State is really good at these back downs. Javen Buchanan really good at it. Andrew Meadow doing a great job there. If SC is not going to come with a double, they've just been kind of overpowering USC on these back downs when they have the matchup advantage for it.
You mentioned Meadow and the goggles that he wore for years. He was well known for the look, and he's not wearing them anymore. And Leon Rice told us that a couple of weeks ago he went to him and he said, "Let me see your goggles, man." And he put the goggles on. They were a little concerned about he was getting beat on back cuts in the corners. So Coach Rice put the goggles on, pretended to play defense, and he said, "I can't see the man in the corner." He said, "Can you see the man in the corner?" And it was a peripheral vision issue that led to Meadow getting rid of the goggles, going to contacts, and they feel it's helping him really at both ends of the floor.
Well, Leon Rice is a great coach, but I found out last night he was a terrible car wash employee. His first job, he worked at Jiffy Car Wash and got fired in his first year and was told he's not Jiffy Car Wash material.
He has bounced back from that to have a rather nice coaching career as Rice puts the Trojans back on top.
Well, just because you're good at coaching, he's still not Jiffy Car Wash material.
Let it go, Jay. Let it go. Give the man a break. What a great NBA triple header coming your way on Wednesday night. It begins with the Pistons and the Celtics at 5 Eastern, the T-Wolves and the Thunder at 7:30, and then the Rockets and Warriors at 10 o'clock Eastern time. What a great time of year this week with great NBA action. Feast week, including the tournament here in Maui, NFL, of course, and more. No shortage of things to put your eyeballs on and to enjoy here this week.
Chad Baker-Mazara is face guarding Meadow right now and staying with them on every exchange.
Boy, that is a tough shot by Andrews. He gets it to go, and the lead changes hands again.
And Dylan Andrews is still getting comfortable. You know, he was out about a month. He had a cyst on his foot, so it was around September, October. He missed some time.
How about Rodney Rice? He always looks comfortable.
He's just a big-time scorer. And taking over point guard. He's averaging close to 8 assists a game. Just over 1 steal. He's been played an all-around game.
Andrews with a hard spin into Marsh, and the offensive foul is called.
Look at you talking about there aren't any charges in college basketball anymore. You do it right, you draw.
Is that an announcer jinx? That one doesn't count, I don't think. Well, let's see about Marsh. And I mean, he's a smaller guy than Andrews. Took the hit.
On the charge thing, those are the kind of charges you value from the primary defender. The ones you wanted to eliminate are when a secondary defender comes over, and you know they were giving those things away. And reasonable minds can differ, but I thought it was a great change for the game.
Rice switches hands, couldn't finish. Dimes with the offensive rebound, had it taken away by Nato.
Well, what a play by Nato.
Meadow in transition. Just runs into a wall of Trojans, and back comes USC. Ooh, and Marsh might have gotten away with a travel, got the ball back, but they could not convert in transition. Now they will hold for the final shot of the half.
He certainly got away with a turnover because I think that pass was so bad it surprised the defense. They couldn't grab it.
Rice refusing the screen. The long 2 not there. And the first half will come to an end. The lead changing hands a number of times in the last few minutes. Eric Musselman wanted a foul call there at the end of the half, but we've got another good one with a spot in the semifinals on the line. Rodney Rice leading the way with 14 points here in the first half. The transfer from Maryland off to an outstanding start this season. David Buchanan, some very aggressive buckets early. This is a good one. 2-point game at halftime. Zubin, Jay Wilseth, take it away.
2 guys dressed for business, 1 for the club.
Tweet presented by Lowe's. Welcome back to the Southwest Maui Invitational. Always a great environment and some very competitive basketball. We got a 2-point game. USC leading Boise State by just 2 as we start the second half. Dan Schulman, Jay Billis. Let's take a look now at the experts at work, brought to you by Principal.
Well, I thought USC in the first half, Rodney Rice was the engine behind their offense. He had 14 points, but USC needs to do a better job of protecting the paint. They're giving up penetration, these backdowns. They've decided not to go with a double with some of these backdowns, but you can't give straight line drives and let them drive to the basket. But they did do a really good job of guarding the 3-point line, just 1 of 12 for Boise State in that first half. But Rodney Rice was terrific in the first half. 14 points, 2 of 4 from 3, 6 of 12 overall. The offense has been Rodney Rice, Chad Baker-Mazara had 6, Jordan Marsh had 6. They haven't gotten anything out of their big guys yet. But job number 1 is going to be keeping Boise State out of the lane and not allowing second shot opportunities. R.J. Keene had 3 offensive rebounds.
Boise State got hot at the end of the half, made 5 of their last 7. So they are down by just 2. USC with the first possession of the second half. And an errant shot there by Baker-Mazara as Andrews brings it back into the front court.
A nice job by R.J. Keene to be basically face guard Chad Baker-Mazara. When they got the switch, they were able to recover and force that to be a really difficult shot.
Andrews can't turn the corner, slipped a bit.
Boy, clear out for a back down here.
Will Buchanan take the opportunity? He goes strong, but Kofi came in to help. And they did not get it off in time. It was an air ball. Anyways, it's a shot clock violation on the Broncos.
Boy, great recovery to block that shot. And that's emblematic of USC being the top shot blocking team in the country on this young season. So athletic at every position.
A minute into the second half with a spot in the semis and a date with Seton Hall on the line. The loser of this game will play NC State. The Pirates beating the Wolfpack by 11. Tipped out by Kofi. Baker Mazzara knocks it down.
Boy, another great play by Jacob Kofi. He's the top rebounder for this Trojan team. Just kept that thing alive and tapped it out for a step-in three by Chad Baker Mazzara.
And those were the parents of Chad Baker Mazzara, Derek Baker, Carmen Mazzara, watching their son play basketball here in Lahaina.
Flex action.
This is Fielder. That'll be interesting for him. He transferred from Georgetown, put his name in the portal, committed to USC, and then changed his mind, went back to the portal, and winds up playing for Boise State. And one of his first games with Boise State is against USC.
Well, Leon Rice recruited the local product, Fielder, with the thought that he could ultimately transfer back someday. And that's the way college basketball is now. Sometimes you're recruiting a guy not necessarily to get him now, but to get him later.
Broncos just 1 for 13 from three-point range. Now Buchanan backing his man down, tips it up and in.
Boy, going one-on-one in the post. And I think one of the reasons that Eric Musselman is deciding to do that is he wants to stay with shooters. You know, make it a tough two instead of giving up an open three with the double.
Kofi, his three will rattle out. And that'll wind up out of bounds off Baker Mazzara. It'll be Boise State ball. Buchanan's an interesting guy. He can knock down the outside shot, and as you've alluded to, Jay, he can do this as well.
Yeah, these back downs, he gets low, he's strong, he's going against a really good athlete in Jacob Kofi, but he's right there for the tip in as well. I think in guarding those back downs, Dan, you can't use your body. You've got to put an arm bar on the offensive player so you can be stronger, but also give yourself some space.
This time, Eric Musselman sends a double at Buchanan. Kofi, by the way, has gone to the bench with 3. Meadow for 3, and this game is tied.
Now you go with the double, they pass out of it, swing it, and ultimately wind up with an open 3 because it puts you in rotation. And that's the quandary or the choice that Eric Musselman has to make. Do you double it or just make him take and make the tough 2?
And it's all really starting with Buchanan, right?
Yeah, right now.
Yeah. A 3 at the other end for Terrence Williams, the second, to put the Trojans back on top. And Williams, playing free safety, tips it and gets it.
Good pass.
Transition 3 for Rice. And quick strike offense here for the Trojans.
Boise State with their offense, they have play cards over on the sideline. So everybody knows what they're in, including the opponent, but the opponent's usually not going to memorize your plays.
It's Buchanan again. Trying to back down Williams. And a foul and a basket.
Williams just wasn't able to get that arm bar. Once Buchanan gets into your body, you're done. And then he raked down at the end, came right across the arms, but Buchanan, so you have to have an arm bar on his hip. It was really strong play by Javen Buchanan. That was excellent.
Buchanan, a guy who had off-season hip and back surgery, really wasn't 100% healthy last year, is this year. And all you have to do is watch him play a little bit of basketball to see how important a guy he is going to be on this team. Picked third in the Mountain West, Boise State, behind San Diego State and Utah State. Among the teams who will move into the newer version of the Pac-12 next season, a league that will include Gonzaga as well. Williams, no. Tip, no. Keene ahead to Meadow, and a foul. No basket. The foul on the floor.
Well, what a smart play by Rodney Rice to foul before the shot can be taken, and a great pass by R.J. Keene. That was just a spectacular pass to give the advantage. And Leon Rice was giving the intentional foul sign because he didn't think Rodney Rice went after the ball, but I thought that was a smart foul by Rice. One Rice likes it, the other Rice doesn't.
The intensity has really picked up here in the first 4 minutes of the second half. Buchanan almost fumbled it away. Dominic Parolin back into the game here now for Boise State. Buchanan, they double him. Keene, now Buchanan for three. And Javen Buchanan is dominating this game right now.
Well, that was all set up by R.J. Keene. Came up from the left side when he caught it, gave a shot fake, drove it through the defenders, and then found Buchanan with that pass. R.J. Keene does so many things that don't show up in the box score that help you win.
And that one slipping off the fingertips of Rice, sailing out of bounds. And momentum has swung in the favor of the Broncos here in the first few minutes of the second half. Another good play by Keene, another big shot by Buchanan, and it's all tied up at 43. ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Lowe's and TickPick. Fans know the best memories start with the best prices. Welcome back, and let's go inside the play, presented by Warby Parker.
Well, Javen Buchanan has shown great strength in this game. He's got 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 of them on the offensive end. But he is a load to handle on these backdowns. Not only getting the foul on Terrence Williams, but getting the bucket as well. And then off the R.J. Keene penetration after the shot fake, he's ready to shoot. A guy that can stretch the floor and go down in the post. His versatility. And he serves as the inbounder also for Leon Rice.
8 of his 15 have come here in the second half. Rodney Rice still the high scorer in the game. Even though the score has only changed by 2 points here in the second half, the Trojans were up 2 with the break. Doesn't it feel like Boise State is really getting what they want a lot easier than USC is right now?
Yeah, they're getting what they want in the paint. Like USC has not been able to do that. And right now, Southern Cal, you know, their offense is coming from Rodney Rice and Chad Baker-Mazara. They got to get their front court involved. And they got to do a better job on the glass. Like right now, Boise State has won the battle of the paint, and they're winning the glass.
Boy, look at Buchanan again, this time against a bigger defender in Asar. Kofi with a block and Keene with a foul. And that time, the combination of the strength of Asar and the length of Kofi, a nice defensive stand for Southern Cal.
Well, you can see Kofi guarding. Now he's got to guard that exchange, and just came up to block that shot. And he waits until Meadow leaves the floor before he goes up for the block shot. But with that length, athleticism, and timing, he's able to impact so many plays. Almost 3 blocks a game for Jacob Kofi.
A double on Marsh out on the perimeter, and he turns it over. Nine turnovers now committed by USC. Same with the Boise State. As Dylan Andrews will return. R.J. Keene sits down. Andrew Meadow will sit as well.
One thing Andrews has to do is run the team and not turn the ball over. He's got 4 turnovers in this game.
And you've got Nato out there as well in the backcourt along with Andrews. But it's all been running through Buchanan here in recent minutes. Andrews for 3. A rebound, Kofi. And when in doubt, give it to Rice at the other end.
Musselman going with 2 point guards as well.
And that didn't hit anything. Went behind the backboard out of bounds, and another empty possession for the Trojans.
And Boise State did a nice job of angling out that drive, not giving a lane to the basket, but angling it toward the short corner. You don't always have to stay in front, but what you do have to do is protect the lane, protect the basket, and you angle them out to that short corner. That's a really difficult 2 to have to make.
Carmichael looking for Parolin. And it would not go for him. Defender might have gotten just a piece of it. And back comes Baker Mazzara.
Good roll on the open side. Those are the plays you have to finish.
Baker Mazzara is fouled by Carmichael, who didn't think he did enough to warrant the call. Number 3 on him, just the second on the team here in the second half. First ever meeting between these two programs.
That is surprising.
Yeah. And another call away from the ball.
Yeah, just bodying up the cutter a little bit too much. A little slice cut by Kofi. I thought it looked like Buchanan.
I think Nato got
they
the
gave
foul.
it to Nato.
Yeah, Nato is second.
Always have to watch Rodney Rice as the inbounder coming back in.
There it is. But Andrews stays with him. Forces Rice into a tough contested shot. Good defense. Nato is jet quick. And it'll go, and Boise State has the lead.
Not only a terrific drive by Nato, but a nice job by Fielder to basically box out the weak side shot blocker.
5 on the afternoon now for Nato. 8-0 run Boise State. That is ended right there. Ezra Asar soars for the slam.
And Nato gave up the angle. Marsh took it, and then you have to help up. And anytime you're helping uphill, that opens up that easy lob pass.
Asar, says Eric Musselman, still learning the game a bit, but his practice habits are off the charts. And he just set kind of a nice running screen down the court to free up Rice for the go-ahead layup. And again, we have some condensation, some moisture on the court, and the officials will stop it. The last thing you want to see is somebody getting injured on a wet spot on the floor.
I think it's sweat. It's not condensation, it's sweat.
That's fair.
Boy, you help up, and all you have to do is throw it up to the rim. And Ezra Asar knows what to do with it. But you go for the steal, gamble a little bit, and Marsh took advantage of it. And trying to split defenders, go through the legs. And you're right, Asar did a really nice job of boxing out Javen Buchanan so he can't challenge at the rim.
This is a different matchup. So Eric Musselman has made an adjustment, and he has put Asar on Buchanan in the last couple of minutes to try to keep Buchanan from backing everybody down. That's a good matchup of those two.
Yeah, that's strength on strength.
Yeah.
USC not switching these exchanges.
Andrews, long 2, got it.
That was contested. Marsh was right there.
I'm sure as a former UCLA guy, Andrews wants to do his best against USC. Ties it up at 47. Baker Mazzara, the lefty, turns the corner, runs into a wall. Kofi open. Misses the 3, and Carmichael the board.
No offensive rebounds for USC. The rebounding battle has been won thus far by Boise State.
And again, that was a big concern for USC in their triple overtime win over Troy. Fielder lays it in. Andrews the assist. And the Broncos are back on top.
What a beautiful pass off that little two-man game. Just went right over the top of Kofi to get it to Fielder for the easy bucket. That was beautifully done.
As we expected, a very competitive game here in the first round between these two.
USC is just not getting a ton of movement.
Kofi could not finish on the alley-oop attempt.
I don't think you want to try to attack off the initial action.
Andrews, nice move, but a good recovery there by Asar to knock it out of bounds. And send us to immediate timeout. And the intensity, the action, Jay, both picking up here in the second half of this quarterfinal.
Well, USC getting downhill, drawing a defender, putting it up to Asar. And then off the two-man game, the nice roll, inside position, just right over the top to Fielder.
Well, we showed you USC going surfing a couple of days ago. That was one of their outings, one of the activities for Boise State. A little sunset cruise here around Lahaina. Leon Rice and company. I mean, you and I have been lucky enough to do this tournament for many, many years, and every year we see every team with videos like that. The basketball is great, but experiences and memories that these young student athletes take away with them as well.
So there's not a better setting for basketball than being in Maui, and this is just a great gym to play basketball in. It's intimate and just high-level competition year in, year out at the Southwest Maui Invitational.
Remember, during COVID, the tournament was played once in North Carolina, once in Las Vegas, and then the awful fires that were here in Maui as well. So a couple of years ago, the tournament was played at the Sheriff Center in Honolulu. You and I have been driving around the last few days to and from, and we continue to see efforts to rebuild the areas that were so damaged. Such a tragedy that happened here a couple of years ago in Maui. But the strength and the spirit of everybody out here is very, very strong.
Lahaina strong.
Yep. That is number 3 on Asar. And he's an important guy because he can body up with Buchanan. But it looks like Eric Musselman might be making a change. He just brought Jerry Easter to the scorer's table. We'll see who's coming out. Now he called him back. Might have thought better of it. Nato out to Fielder, 10 to shoot. Crosses over on Kofi, but got blocked.
What a recovery by Jacob Kofi. And Boise State still trying to attack the paint. That's where they've had the most success. Points in the paint. It's plus 20 for Boise State.
This is the 7th block of the game by the Trojans.
Well, you thought that Kofi was beat after that really nice crossover by Fielder, but he's got the athleticism, the length, and the timing to still get back and block that shot. That was a big-time play. Good cut.
Baker Mazzara finds a cutting Rice. Asar the rebound and is fouled. And will shoot a couple. And who did they get? It'll be Keene again. That'll be his 3rd. A couple of fouls in the last 10 seconds or so on R.J. Keene.
One of the relative few free throw opportunities in this game for USC, who came in to this game living at the foul line. I mean, they were averaging over 30 free throws per game. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, over 38 per game. And Asar is kind of the leader of the pack. He gets there a lot, although not a great free throw shooter, 58% on the season.
The triple overtime game against Troy helped their free throw numbers a little bit, but they've been kept off the line for the most part in this game, and that's been one of the contributing factors to Boise State having this 2-point lead with over 10 minutes to go in regulation.
One of 2.
USC coming with full court pressure, but one of the reasons, just slow the advance a little bit. They don't have to guard quite as long in the half court.
You like the length of Baker Mazzara on the primary ball handler in Andrews?
Yeah.
Baker Mazzara really a guy who can guard multiple spots. And now the shot clock's inside 10, and Boise State really hasn't gotten anything going yet on this possession. Buchanan is going to have to create. Misses the 3, and it belongs to USC. Marsh, good minutes off the bench. Asar now maybe trying to give Buchanan a dose of his own medicine. A foul on Buchanan.
Boy, Buchanan got him down toward the baseline side, and that's right where you don't want to foul. That would have been a really tough 2 to make. When he turns toward the baseline, I mean, that's going to be a tough shot. Make him finish it over you.
Number 2 on Buchanan as he and Asar continue to bang on both ends of the floor. Both of them are big and strong. They are both going to wake up tomorrow morning feeling sore. And having a basketball game to play tomorrow as well. Baker Mazzara trying to give Asar some encouraging words as he has struggled at the free throw line. 2 for 5 today. And splits a pair again. This game is tied at 49. More pressure from the Trojans. Andrews off the ball right now as Buchanan brings it up. Maryland tries to get the handoff to Meadow, can't get there. Leon Rice wanted a foul call. And again, deep into the clock without Boise State getting much going. Into Parolin, he's tied up. Gets rid of it, but it's a shot clock violation. Boy, everything seems to have changed, Jay, at the offensive end the last few trips for Boise State.
Well, USC has done a better job the last couple possessions of protecting the paint, of staying in front. They've really slowed the three-point attack of Boise State.
Baker Mazzara does not need a whole lot of space, but he missed the three.
For the most part, Boise State's controlled their defensive glass.
Carmichael knocks one down from the wing. Boise State back on top.
Just a little bit of miscommunication. It's almost like USC went under on that action on the left side.
Williams. And a foul called on Meadow, and Leon Rice is in disbelief at that call. He said he was straight up and down, had his arms extended to the ceiling just a moment ago, did not like that call. He might have a case there. That's pretty straight up and down.
Point.
Yeah. But Meadow the foul, and it'll be Williams to the line. Grad student from Clinton, Maryland, as we mentioned, a lot of experience at Michigan.
This tempo is exactly what Boise State wants. You know, keep USC out of transition. It has not been an up and down game. It's been a half court game. And that's the game Boise State needs to play to win this.
One of two. The Trojans 6 of 12 from the line. 2-point lead Broncos.
USC trying to speed the tempo with its defense, but also just, you know, slowing this advance means you're only going to have to guard for 18, 20 seconds rather than 24, 26 seconds.
Carmichael missed the slam. Boy, he got wide open on a great cut, but couldn't finish it.
Boy, beautiful action with that curl action across the top.
A missed opportunity for a bucket for the Broncos, and now USC can tie or take the lead with 8 minutes to go in regulation.
Need a ball reversal.
Asar. Rice with 5 on the clock. Rice for 3. Count it!
Well, Rodney Rice able to create his own offense, but that ball reversal was helpful to move the Boise State defense. A little jab step, went up for the 3 and nailed it.
Came in averaging 20.5 points per game. He's at 22 today. Andrews, no. Meadow the rebound. Buchanan, no. Carmichael to the deck and calls a timeout.
Boy, Boise State is battling on the glass. Absolutely battling on the glass.
Rodney Rice has in recent moments become the dominant offensive performer. He's got 22 in this game to lead all scorers.
Rodney Rice of USC has been outstanding in this basketball game. 22 points. He's 9 of 18 from the field, made 4 threes. And when USC needs a bucket just off that screen and roll, he didn't even have to move, just a jab and jump shot after the ball reversal. Rodney Rice started his career out of Virginia Tech, and you can see the numbers that he's been putting up consistently. At a triple-double against Illinois State on November 14th, 21 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists. Consistent at a high level.
And they have needed all of it to be in this game with Boise State. A 1-point lead for Eric Musselman's Trojans. Still a long way to go, 7:22. Earlier today, Seton Hall beating NC State by 11. A.J. State-McCray had a great game, and he was not alone. A lot of players played very well for Shaheen Holloway's team. So the winner of this game will play Seton Hall. The loser will play the Wolfpack. Pearland trying to find help, gets it to Carmichael. Leaned in with the elbow, picked up his dribble. Now he's in a bit of trouble. Count it! He got out of trouble and got fouled.
Kofi just was reaching in there. It looked like a travel at first that wasn't called. But a fantastic job by Carmichael to stick with that play and get the continuation. Kofi does a nice job, help side defense at first, but when he reaches in here, just goes right through it and gets it to go. Great play by Pearson Carmichael.
A look at the bracket here at the Southwest Maui Invitational. As we mentioned a few minutes ago, Seton Hall with a very impressive performance. Boy, their defense was good. Their defense led to so much of their offense as they beat NC State by 11. The winner of this one to play Seton Hall, Washington State, Chaminade, and then it'll be Arizona State and Texas later tonight. The Seton Hall surfboard prominently on display here in Lahaina. I think the Pirates and their coaches have to be extremely happy with what they saw earlier today.
Man, they played hard. That was an excellent win that Seton Hall had over North Carolina State. Really well done. But it'll be an interesting game between Arizona State and Texas later today. Sean Miller, he brought over Dalen Swain from Xavier when he took the job, and then their big guy, Matas Vocatitis. And when you have vocatitis, call a doctor. But he's a really good big guy, and he's going to get better and better.
And some holdovers, right? Jordan Pope is on the team. Kendall Weaver, Tremont Mark. There's some continuity, too.
Exactly.
Rice the pull-up. Boy, he has that down to his science. His mid-range game is outstanding.
He doesn't need much space. And he's so good with the ball. He's really a combo guard playing the point, and he's just so good off the dribble, as he just demonstrated right there.
USC has 20 made field goals. He's got half of them. Carmichael's 3 rattles out.
But Carmichael's had a really good game.
Very efficient, too. He's only played 15 minutes, but he's got 11 points, 4 rebounds. Asar with a burst of speed, too strong off the glass. He's down. And then Pearland tripped over him, and again we have a wet spot on the floor. It is warm in here. You talked about how the building is air conditioned, and back in the day it wasn't, and we saw more of this, but you and I come here every year. It feels a lot warmer in here than it typically does.
Yeah, it is warmer right now, and you can see all the fans with their fans, and that's for a reason.
And a good job by the officials to make sure that whenever they think there's a trouble spot out there.
Well, the good news is it's not hot yoga warm. Have you ever done hot yoga?
I have never done any kind of yoga.
It's horrifying.
So why do you do it?
Well, because my wife likes it. Last time I went, I almost stroked out.
Tied at 55, Rodney Rice getting the job done for USC. Javen Buchanan, there was several minutes of this game where he dominated. He just took over the game. And I think Eric Musselman made the switch at about that time to put Asar on him. And it really seemed to change things at the offensive end for Boise State, and it forced them into plan B.
And most of his backdowns are going to be matchup dependent. You know, when he has a size advantage, he's going to back down his defender, but you got to bring a dump truck to back down Ezra Asar.
These are two really, really good coaches who have been at their craft for many, many years.
Yeah, watching USC in their game prep is awesome. I mean, their scouting is next level.
Is that in part, you believe, because of Musselman's pro experience?
I think so, but it's just the way that they're able to convey it to the players. Everything is up on poster board at practice every day, right before they have a game, and they have almost like station-like segments where they'll put these poster boards in spots on the floor where they drill what this particular player does. And I think it's really effective in conveying to the players what they have to do. You know, if you don't drill it, sometimes it's hard for the players to get it.
Asar baseline. He's got a strength advantage on Carmichael. Faded away, though, a bit in the paint and couldn't convert.
Boy, nothing but white shirts underneath. All 5 guys on the Boise State team are rebounding on the defensive end.
Jay, this game has been played within 3 points one way or another for the last 11 minutes.
Possession by possession.
Fielder kicks it out to Carmichael. Spins, elevates, hits.
Boy, just a great pass out by Fielder, and then the immediate attack by Carmichael. Great spin and kept his balance. What a terrific performance by Pearson Carmichael in limited minutes.
He's got the last 8 for the Broncos, who are back on top. A miss by Rice, and again, a lot of white jerseys on the glass.
That's been the difference in the game, in my view, has been the rebounding of Boise State.
Fielder tried to find Andrews' back door. Instead, launches a 3. And it'll be Chad Baker Mazzara bringing it up for USC. 4:40 to go in a 2-point game.
USC needs a ball reversal. Everything's been to one side of the floor.
Kofi, corner 3. Kept alive by Baker Mazzara, but corralled by Carmichael.
Keene helped pursuing that ball. He doesn't give up on a ball. He doesn't score a lot of points, but he makes a lot of plays. Well, he got a high-low opportunity, but Fielder didn't really duck in on it.
Fielder guarded by Kofi, who's got 4. And couldn't finish it. Boy, great moves. Keene tried to save it, but it's USC ball. Williams with the 3. And USC back on top.
Just that penetration by Rice. The best place to score is the other side of the floor. That ball reversal really helpful off the drive by Rice.
The 11th lead change of the game. Fielder trying to back Kofi down, left it short, out of bounds. Trojans ball with a 1-point lead and 3:27 to go, Jay, as they continue to go back and forth.
Well, Pearson Carmichael has been excellent in this game. On the pass back out, the right-hand drive and spin back. Great body control to get that bucket. And then Rice freezing all the defenders to get it to Williams for the ball reversal bucket.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team. Warby Parker, prescription eyewear for clear vision on and off the court. And Southwest Airlines. Score all-star hospitality on every flight. What's going through your mind out there, Jay?
I'm glad Dan Shulman's not here to bother me while I'm enjoying myself on the Sea Maui 3.
That's funny. That's what was going through my mind while you were out on that boat. We're having a good time. We hope you are as well. Feast week, what a great week, and a really competitive game. What's going to decide this one?
Well, the rebounding has been a big factor for Boise State, but I think Boise State's ability to get into Rodney Rice and limit him down the stretch, because he's really been the offense for USC, but right now USC's in the bonus, and I think they have to drive the ball. Put Boise in a position to foul, because USC with 3:27 left to go in regulation still has a foul to give, so they can be aggressive. But Boise State, every foul they're putting USC on the foul line.
Rice has 24. Nobody else for the Trojans is even in double figures. Buchanan 15, Carmichael 14 in 18 minutes off the bench. The top 2 scorers for the Broncos. The only player with 4 fouls on either side is Jacob Kofi, who is on the floor and has been playing with 4 fouls for a while now for USC. Keen on Baker Mazzara. A little congested on the right side of the floor. Lob, no. And it's down to the Broncos.
Well, Chad Baker Mazzara is looking at Kofi saying, brother, that was a shot. Leave my shot alone.
That's a lob. That's a pass. That's a finish. As Nato finds Parolin, and the Broncos are on top.
I don't think USC moved on to the next play after that miscue.
Kofi shut off on the baseline by Buchanan. 2:40 to go.
Too much dribbling.
Wide open. Kofi 3. Yes.
As so much attention goes to Rodney Rice. And he just got into the paint, drew 2 defenders, and then turned around and found Kofi. And to Kofi's credit, he didn't hesitate to take that 3.
Kofi has taken 5 shots today. All of them have been threes. He's made 2 of them now.
Almost got his 5th foul there. Lucky.
Baker Mazzara, the steal, and will head to the line. Tells his teammates, okay, now it's okay to help me up. He's headed to the line to try to extend the 2-point lead. He can be a menace at the defensive end.
Good hands, and he kept that hand low where that pass was going to be. But here's drawn 2 defenders, actually 3, kicks it back out. Kofi had plenty of time to line up that 3. That was a huge bucket for Southern Cal. I dig SC's uniforms, man.
Yeah, those are good stuff.
Those are awesome. Yeah, I grew up in LA, so I watched SC back in the Cliff Robinson, Steve Carfino days. Or actually, Steve Carfino played at Iowa. It was his brother, Don Carfino.
And if you got to have a guy on the line, if you're Eric Musselman, you could do a lot worse than Chad Baker Mazzara, who has been an outstanding free throw shooter throughout his career and is at 88% this season.
Yeah, and SC's had some great coaches over the years, back to Bob Boyd. Stan Morrison did an excellent job there, won the Pac-12, and it was the Pac-10 back then. I remember watching him in the Pac-8.
Right. They've gone from the Pac-8 to the Pac-10 to the Pac-12, now to the Big Ten. And they've got a 4-point lead now with 2:10 to go. Andrews trying to get a good look. Oh, he turned it over. Picked off by Asar. Oh. And then Baker Mazzara tried to return it and threw it out of bounds. And Eric Musselman is unhappy. I don't know if Asar maybe didn't quite keep cutting to the basket. It wasn't expecting it, but just the 2 of them not quite on the same page on what should have been an easy 2.
Just a great steal, but anytime you throw the ball backwards, it's not a good play. That just wasn't a good pass.
Yeah, not on Asar. He kept going to the basket. The pass was just errant.
Well, I'm not sure Asar should have given it up. He had a lane to the basket. Just truck your way to the rim.
Timeout taken by Leon Rice, and you can see Baker Mazzara. You talk about moving on to the next play. He is still thinking about that turnover as he led Asar too far. And it could be a 6-point game. Instead, it's 4 with 1:51 to go. If you're Leon Rice, how do you get the offense back to life here for Boise State?
Well, you have to not turn it over, number one. I mean, right now, there's been a little bit of a speed up in Boise State from some of the USC pressure, and we didn't see that through most of the game. It was Boise State's tempo. But right now, USC's made a little bit of push. They've got their tempo. They're forcing turnovers. They're getting out a little bit in transition.
We haven't heard from Andrew Meadow in a while. Their leading scorer, better than 15 a game. He's got 3.5, 9 on the afternoon. Buchanan and Carmichael continue to be the top 2 scorers for Boise State. And Dylan Anderson, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, when he had 4 turnovers, he's up to 6 right now. That's been a problem for the Broncos.
I mean, if I'm Boise State right now, I want to lift up this USC defense. Maybe go into some ball screen motion, move the ball from side to side. You know, because Leon Rice has some good cutters, and they can operate off screen and roll, pick and pop situations. But the first thing they have to do is move this USC defense from side to side and then attack. There's still plenty of time left in this game.
Boise State with 1 timeout left. USC still has 3. Can they get Buchanan a good look? Again, the game has changed, especially for him, ever since Eric Musselman put Ezra Asar on him. As strong as Buchanan is, Asar might be even a little bit bigger and stronger.
Meadow being guarded by Kofi, inbounding the ball. Kofi's got those 4 fouls, so Meadow should feel comfortable going at him.
Nadeau handling right now. Andrews off the ball, lots of time. 3-pointer, yes! What a big shot by A.G. Nadeau, and it's a 1-point game.
Boy, Nadeau just went right into the chest of Rodney Rice and knocked him back. That created the space for that step back.
Nadeau bodying up Rice, keeping him way out on the perimeter. Asar one-on-one with Meadow. Gets around him, follows it up, and it goes.
Good second jump by Asar. Got one-on-one in the post. He just muscled his way into the middle.
Nadeau. Buchanan with a shot fake down in the corner. We've got 1 minute to go in regulation. Boise State with the ball down 3. Carmichael, too strong. And underneath, the call is on Asar of Southern Cal, his 4th.
Boy, everything but the rebound for USC on that play. Boy, watch Nadeau here, just goes right into the chest and knocks Rodney Rice back and steps back for that 3. That's a big-time play by Nadeau.
The 6th team foul, so not in the bonus yet. Boise State will inbound. Stolen by Kofi. And he calls a timeout immediately.
Boy, what a great play by Jacob Kofi. He's had such meaningful minutes in this game at both ends of the floor, but especially on the defensive end.
15th turnover committed by the Broncos, and this one is costly.
Well, the other day in practice, Eric Musselman was all over Jacob Kofi about talk. Communicating as a defender, and he has been demonstrative, been all over the place really in this game.
So USC has the ball, a 3-point lead. Boise State's got the arrow. Eric Musselman diagramming a play with 52.2 to go and a spot in the semifinals on the line.
The important thing, Dan, is on the inbounds that USC doesn't want to catch it in the corner where they can get trapped. You want to try to catch it free throw line extended if you can, and then there's got to be a middleman and an outlet and somebody behind the play so you can throw behind and play and reverse it.
Marsh will re-enter, another ball handler in there along with Rice.
That's a spot throw in, and USC still has timeout, so there's no reason to panic here. What you don't want to do for Marsh and Rice, you don't want to run straight to the corner. That's exactly what Boise wants you to do.
Boom. Where Marsh is, and they give it right back to Boise State.
The last place you want to catch the ball is in that coffin corner. That's exactly where Marsh ran, and it's no surprise the double was coming, and he was looking for the double and just didn't make the catch.
And immediately subbed out of the game as Asar comes back in. Marsh was brought into the game again just to give him another guard, another ball handler, and they give it right back to the Broncos.
And he subbed out for defensive purposes, just get more length on the floor.
A couple of Trojans playing with 4, Asar and Kofi. Broncos get it in. Buchanan. One-on-one with Asar. Got him in the air. Got it to go and fouled him out of the game as well.
That was strength on strength. The back down, but what was really effective was the shot fake. Got Asar off the ground, went into him, and not only drew the foul, the second fake, but he got the bucket to go for an N1. I wonder if the hair was part of the... He made 2 fakes. His hair made 4.
So as mentioned, Asar has fouled out of the game. Just a great play on many levels by Buchanan. A good free throw shooter this year. 86% coming into the game, with 1 coming to try and tie the game. Which he will.
Boy, how important was that inbound play? You know, you inbound it cleanly. You got a 3-point lead.
They can probably foul you.
Yeah, you can force Boise State to foul you.
Yeah.
You know, the simple things about passing and catching, making intelligent plays as to where to catch the ball.
7 ties, 13 lead changes in this one. 8 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock.
Got to get going.
Kofi slips the screen. Rice floater. Yes! Rodney Rice with another huge play.
Right, how about the way off that pick and roll he split those defenders? Just pushed the ball forward with that left hand in between 2 Boise State defenders to get into the middle of the lane, and the body control on the finish. Boom! Pushes right through any daylight and then draws the foul as Carmichael tries to take the charge. That's just beautiful by Rodney Rice. He's been magnificent in this game, start to finish.
He's got 26 to tie his season high. The foul was on Carmichael, his 4th. And there's a free throw coming for Rice as well.
It'll be interesting to see how Eric Musselman decides to play this. You know, after Boise State gets it across half court, if this free throw goes in, do you foul? I think you want to do it under 6 seconds, if at all.
3-point game. Here comes Nato. Pass deflected. Meadow forced it up and came up empty when they had all kinds of time to try to regroup.
He was trying to draw the foul. I think he felt that he had an advantage to go into the defender and wasn't able to do it, but there was plenty of time. You didn't have to settle for that shot. I just think he felt like he could draw the foul.
So Williams will try to inbound. It's 6 seconds remain in regulation. And a foul is called.
Offensive foul.
Wow.
They called an offensive foul. My goodness.
On Rice. Rice called for taking down Nato. Here's another angle.
He's saying he hooked him.
And Eric Musselman is saying he was being held, and the officials are at the monitor.
We'll review for a potential hook and hold.
They are reviewing for a potential hook and hold. So right now, it is a common foul on Rice, but there is the possibility it could be upgraded.
My goodness. What a turn of events.
Or are they looking for the hook and
They're
hold?
looking for the hook and hold on Rice.
On Rice,
yes.
Not on Nato.
Yeah, he would have had to brought his arms up to hook. He had one arm around, but did he hook him with that other arm? That's a tough angle there. That's not a hook and hold. Actually, that's not a foul on Rodney Rice. There was no legal guarding position by the defender there.
A lot of contact and a lot of conversation right now between the three officials.
The call on the floor stands as a common foul on USC #1. It'll be Boise State's ball on the baseline. 6 seconds left.
It stands as a common foul. So the call stands, and Boise State is getting the ball back with 6 seconds to go. And a stressful situation right now for Eric Musselman and the Trojans. They had the ball and the lead, and everything was going in their favor, but the Broncos have another opportunity.
Main thing is to guard the three-point line. Do not go for a shot faker for USC.
Marion Dickerson, I'm sorry, Jay, an outstanding defender who has played sparingly today, has checked in now. He's on Andrews.
You wind up giving up a 2 here, and they got Rodney Rice on a foul again. So that puts NATO at the line.
Wow. Without any time coming off the clock, it'll be 1-1 for NATO.
Boy, and all this started with the inability by USC to inbound the basketball with that three-point lead. Was trying to negotiate that little back pick. There was no contact on the pick on the screen for the screener action, and just a grab.
Yeah, those two have gotten tangled up twice, and both times Rice has been called for the foul as NATO hits the front end.
You know, Dan, you're not worried about giving up a layup there. You know, the main thing is take away the 3.
Yeah. R.J. Keene will check back into the game now as Meadow sits.
I mean, on that, in my view, you want to switch everything. If they get a slip, fine. It's just a 2. Still have a 1-point lead in the ball.
Right down to the wire here in the second game of the day at the Southwest Maui Invitational. NATO to try to make it a 1-point game. He will. Can they get the ball in this time? Marsh has it, and he is fouled with 4.2 on the clock.
And now it's just a free throw shooting contest. And Marsh, who was the hero of the triple overtime win against Troy, and one of the most bizarre finishes I can remember, has a chance to not salt this away, but give him a 3-point lead. And then when the ball comes in, you can just foul.
Marsh has not been to the line in this game. Conley makes the first.
Important for the second slot rebounders, Chad Baker-Mazar and Terrence Williams, not to foul here. If there's a miss, you can tip it back, but don't go over the back.
Leon Rice will use his final timeout. His team will either be facing a 2 or a 3-point deficit after this second free throw, with, again, still a fair bit of time to diagram a play. But as you say, depending on what happens, Eric Musselman may decide to foul somebody before they get a chance to take a 3, if the second free throw is successful.
Yeah, and that's why, you know, after you inbound it, if it is a 3-point deficit, inbound it as far down as you can and then pass it ahead. A dribble advance is going to be a foul.
A hard-fought game, especially in the second half.
Boy, there's going to be some great film from this game from both sides to learn. You know, you have a lead. Inbounding the ball is really important. USC couldn't do it, and Boise State took advantage.
The entire second half, Jay, has been played within 4 points, as that one will eventually spin around and in. So it's a 3-point lead. Marsh out. Dickerson returns. Boise State ball, 4.2 to go.
All you have to do is get on a long pass, get a hand on the ball.
NATO to inbound.
Surprised that nobody's on the ball.
Meadow. Buchanan gets the shot off, and left it just short as he had a pretty good look at a three that would have tied the game. But the Trojans hang on, survive, and beat Boise State 70-67 to advance into the semifinals.
USC not putting anybody on the ball on the inbound and electing not to foul. And they gave up a pretty good look. It was well contested by Jacob Kofi, but that was a good look to tie the game.
Time now for the play of the game, brought to you by Lodge Cast Iron.
Well, it was a great game at the end. This might have been the play of the game for USC. Rodney Rice splitting two defenders off that screen and roll up top. Wound up with 27 points, 4 of 7 from 3 to take home the player of the game honors. But more importantly, USC comes away with a hard-fought win against Boise State.
And time now for the player of the game. So the play of the game and the player of the game brought to you by Tommy Bahama. It, of course, is Rodney Rice. Look at those numbers. Every time they needed a bucket, he provided it. A game high and season high for him. 27 points here today as USC hangs on and beats Boise State 70-67. So it'll be USC and Seton Hall in the semis tomorrow. NC State and Boise State on the consolation side of the draw. Our next game tonight here for the Southwest Maui Invitational, Washington State, Chaminade. Kanoa Leahy and Sean Farnham have it coming up. But right now it's time to send you to Sports Center with Kevin Connors and Jay Harris.